Okay, hello class. Let us try to replicate this particular drawing isometrically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a new drawing here. And I'm going to go using this particular template. And this is just some stuff that I go through. So I'm just going to hit F7 to clear my grid, and then DS for my draft settings, and I want to go to isometric snap. Okay. Another thing I want to do here is I want to create some layers. And I'm just going to choose a color here, go back in, choose another layer, dimension, and I'm going to choose contrast and color. Okay, I'm going to come here, hit L for line, enter, and I am going to, before I do that, let me just kind of set my limits. Okay, 0, 0, and I'm going to use 10, 10. Okay. L for line, enter. I'm going to put on my ortho, F8, and I'm going to go 2.5 units away. Okay, and then I'm going to change, I'm going to hit F5, change my plane, so I can go this way, 30-degree angle, and I'm going to go 2.0, and I'm going to go back up 150 degrees direction, and that's going to be 2.50, and then I am going to come out 210. You see my angle 210, and I'm going to come 2.0 units away, and then hit enter again to close that command. Double click my wheel to allow me to zoom extents. Okay, and then I could just play with my wheel in and out to bring out or to zoom in or zoom out of a particular structure. Okay, so my next step, what I would do is I would actually create an ellipse or isometric circle, and under your draw, under your home tab, your draw panel, you can actually activate what you know as an axis end command, and then here just hit I for isocircle. It's going to say specify the center of the isocircle. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go, my diameter is going to be 2 units. Either I can do that, or I can just go to the endpoints, either or. Okay. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to repeat that same process again. So just hit the space bar. It initiates the command again, your last command. Hit I, or type in I for isocircle, and then go to the center point. And now I want to give it a diameter. I'm going to hit D for diameter, because now I want a diameter of 1.25. 1.25. Okay. Hit the space bar again. Type in I, and I'm going to go for type D for diameter. Hit enter, and that's going to be 0.75 with my diameter. Okay. So now it tells us in this particular drawing that these two inner circles are raised up by 0.95. So I'm going to highlight these two circles, right click, initiate move command, go to the center point. Now as you can see, my ortho is on, so it's just only going, it's restricting me to go other planes. So I'm going to hit F5. It allows me to go up. Okay. So I'm going to go up 0.95. Okay. So I've moved it 0.95 units. Okay. So now I have the base is a thickness of 0.35. So I'm just going to just highlight these entities, and I'm going to actually copy this, and from here I'm just going to move up 0.35. Okay, close that command, and now I'm just going to use my line command, and I'm going to start from the quadrant of this circle to the quadrant of that circle. Okay, and what I want to do now is let's make sure the ortho is on. Okay, let me just repeat this. Make sure that's a straight line. Quadrant to quadrant. Okay, I'm good. Okay, and now what I want to do now is I want to create another line. Okay, type in L, specify. I'm going to come from this endpoint, and I am going to take off my ortho, so it gives me the freedom, and I want to be tangent to this line, to this circle. I'm sorry. Enter. Okay. Now I'm going to hit L again for line, and I'm going to try to find that tangent. As you can see, I can't. It's not initiating that tangent line. So I'm going to start from my quadrant of that circle to the quadrant of this circle. Okay. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it or stretch it. So I'm going to use my grips. So once I've initiated the line, left click, I'm going to now move the grip from the upper part of the line to where it says initiates a tangent command. Okay. Likewise for the one at the bottom, I'm going to move it around so I see tangent. As you can see here, it becomes tangent. Okay. So now if you're typing your either draft settings or DS, hit enter. So you'll find under your object snap, you see here where it says tangent. Okay, so you can actually control a lot of the commands dealing with your draft settings, whatever you're trying to do. Okay, so I'm just going to close this out. Now what I would like to do here, I would like to, I can make a copy here from here, and I'm just going to just populate this. Oops. Okay. Now let's trim so we can see this a little better. I'm just going to highlight the whole thing, go the long way so everyone can see what's going on. I've highlighted everything, then I'm going to right click. I'm going to get rid of that component because we're not going to see it. I'm going to get rid of that component, and I'm just going to follow this and somewhat do it the long way. Now I need this component, so I'm going to just stop right there. Now I want to get rid of this piece. I'll get rid of that part. I want to get rid of that part. I want to get rid of that part, that part, that part, that part. Zoom in, that part. Get rid of all of that. So all of this stops typically right here. Okay. So I'm done with that. We're not going to see that component. Okay. We also are not going to. Let me just end this so we can get rid of this part right here. We're not going to see this. We can delete that. We can delete that. And I'm going to hold on to this for right now, and I'll show you why. And then what I would like to do is I would like to smooth this end out. So I'm going to go for a fillet. Enter. Type in radius. Enter. 0.25. Enter. And from here to here. So I can smooth that out. Now I'm going to trim again. This is my boundary here. Right click. And I'm going to get rid of this part. Okay. So we've smoothed that part out. Now I'm going to initiate another fillet. And the radius. And then 0.25. Okay. And now I want to type in multiple or hit M. Okay. Letting the software know that I want to do multiple fillets. Enter. So here, 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 here. Okay. And I'm going to take this line and I'm going to move it. It becomes to the center point of each arc, each fillet. Okay. Then I'm going to trim this because we don't need that part. I'm going to get rid of that line. Okay. We can get rid of this. Okay. So at this point we've done. Oh, sorry. We have a few more things to do. Let me copy this line here, and I'm going to move this line. I'm going to move this line. Turn my ortho. I'm going to move it by 0.6 units. Okay. Hit enter. Then I'm going to repeat my copy selection again, and I'm going to move it 0.25 to the top and 0.25 to the bottom. 0.25. Enter. Okay. Now I'm going to move this over by from this edge here. I'm going to make a copy from this edge over. Hit F5 to change my plane, and I'm going to go 0.63 to my right. Okay. And I'm going to go from here 0.63. I'm going to copy again. I'm going to go 0.75. Hit enter. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to draw. They tell us we have a diameter of 0.5. Right. So I'm going to choose my ISO circle again. Okay, type in I. I'm gonna come here. Okay, it's not snapping. So what I'm gonna do is I could do a few things. I could just trim this, get rid of these lines here, because I really don't need them for right now. And I could come back to I. Snap there, and I'm going to go 0.0 radius of 0.25. Okay, and then I can actually just copy this from here to here. Okay, and then I can begin to trim some more. I can get rid of these lines right here, those, and I can trim. These are my boundaries. I don't need this. I don't need that. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually copy this. And I'm going to come down, hit F5 to change my plane. I'm going to come down by 0.35. Enter. And I'm going to trim. Okay. I'm not going to repeat my trim. I'm not going to see. Oops. I'm not going to see. I'm not going to see this part. This is going to go. This is going to go. Oops. Undo. This is going to go. Okay. And this is going to go. So we can see that part. Okay. So now what I like to do now is I would like to draw my, I'm going to use these lines here to create my center marks. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to change my plane, and I'll make that 0.3. Now we'll do another line. I'll change my plane. 0.3. What I would do is I would just move this from center to center, and I'm going to just copy this from here to here to here. Okay. And now what I can do now is I'm going to extend this line just a little bit more. I can use my grips from that endpoint, and I can say 0.1 that way. Enter. Undo. Control Z to undo. And I'm going to move this by 0.09. Let's try that. That's a bit too much. I just want to come directly above this outer circle. So I'm going to come over. This is all subjective. You can do this on your own. 0.05. Enter. And this is going to be 0.05. Oops. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a line here. Okay. Another line here. And I can get rid of this line right here. Okay. Likewise, I can and then we can do the same thing here. I can just copy this. Okay. And I can just copy this too right here, from center to center. Right click, enter. Okay. So we've done, and I can get rid of this part right here. Done this already. I can get rid of this right here. And now what we can do is now we can begin to dimension. Oh, let me add one more thing. I can move this, copy, not necessarily move, but make a copy, and I could find it right here. Okay, and then again we could create another extension here as they have in a textbook, and I can just copy this, okay, and likewise I can do this as well. And I can just copy this. Okay. So we can see here that we have all our outlines needed to be able to dimension this particular structure. Then I just want to move in and I want to go ahead and create another dimension style. No extension. continue, and I want to just initiate these two. I want to suppress these two extension lines, and I would like to, as far as the primary units is concerned, and for fit, I think I need to go 0.50, and my text typically would be, and I could do this right now. Okay, so let me just do this. Positive 30. Okay, that's going to be 30. Apply. A new one. Negative 30. I'll put a negative 30 there. Apply. Close. Okay, so when I come here, I can see these two text styles. Okay. And on the standard, I'm going to modify that, and I'm going to, our primary units have 2 decimal places over, and I'm going to, under the fit, reduce it by half. Click OK. So when I come here, under my text style, I can see both the plus 30 and the minus 30. Okay, and under my dimension style, I have the no extension and then the standard. Okay. So I want to go under a line, and before I do that, let me create this part here. Okay. And I want to trim this because I'm going to need this line. Okay, I'm going to need this extension, and for right now, okay, and you see why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm just going to click a line. I'm going to go from here to here, and I'm in the wrong dimension style. I'm going to go to standard. Okay, and then come back to a line. So I have my extension line. Okay, and I can kind of get rid of this right now. And then what I can do now is I am going to highlight my dimension. I'm going to type in dimension edit. Okay, I'm going to go oblique. It's asking me for the angle, but I can go and just physically tell AutoCAD at what angle I want it to appear by just clicking on the direction. Okay. Now my rotation, I'm gonna highlight the dimension again, right click. Highlight it and then type in dimension edit, rotate, and I'm gonna come from here to here. Okay. Now the style, as you can see, is kind of crooked, so I'm going to highlight the dimension again, come under annotation, under my text style, and I'm going to choose positive 30. Okay. So now we have this particular dimension aligned with our drawing. Likewise, I can go back here and do, for the non-extension, I'm going to create a dimension from here to here, as you can see. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the dimension again and use my grips to move it. Okay, let me take off ortho. Okay. So you can see right now, this particular dimension has been centered in this particular diagram. And now what I can do now is I can highlight it, then type dimension edit, and I can rotate it from here to here. Okay, and then I can, once I highlight it again, I can come into my text style and I can give it a -30 orientation, and it's there right there. Voila. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do, and I'm gonna let you continue to populate this dimension wise based on what I've shown you so far, and we can come here under, since we want to be able to dimension these circles, isocircles, normally under the normal conditions of dimensioning, like a diameter or radius in AutoCAD, it would not, it's not going to work for the isometric drawings. So you have to use a leader. Okay, so I can create this leader, okay, here, and then once I left click it, it changes my ribbon, and it takes me to the text editor tab. Under the text editor tab, under symbols, when you go to the insert panel, the symbol command, I can click diameter here, right? And this is going to be 1.25, and just come out of the box and just click it, left click it, and now you have this particular leader with this dimension. Okay, so what you can do is you can just highlight this, right click, and go under properties, which also I have here in the upper left hand corner as well, but go to properties. So this initiates this palette here, right? And now I can do quite a few things here. Okay, so what I would like to do is, I would like to, first of all, I would like to change the arrow size. Let's say 0.125. Okay, I reduce that. The height of my text is 0.125. I just want to make it look proportional to, that still looks too big, 0.1. Okay, and then what I can do is I can, with my rotation, okay, and now what I can do now is I can now, so you can see this, let me just move this, and I can actually make this flat. Okay, now I can go back in here under my properties palette. I could change it back to 0 if I wanted to, but which doesn't look proper, so I'm just going to go back, and I am going to, under rotation, 30. There we go. Okay, so then again, you can play around with this however you see fit. If you want to do it that way, it's up to you. If you want to do it this way, however you see fit to display what needs to be displayed. Okay, so I'll let you populate the rest of this particular drawing. Okay, in terms of dimension, but this is how it's typically being done. Okay? I hope this helps. Thank you very much. Bye bye.